Catastrophe. Trump invading our dreams. Well, he's done that, in terms of our hopes, or the possibility of our children succeeding well, in hopes of a fair living, in hopes for real justice and real empathy in the world. He's like a beacon of the devil here, father of lies, as a baby boy that he's so proud of, even though he's just a little bit not so intelligent, especially when it comes to business, which he brags about and fails at over and over and over again. And you gave him the keys to the kingdom, did you? Well, he's invaded my dream. In my dream, and I'll narrate as I go, it was like a nightmare, really. I was in a house, and two people came in, and they said, "We're going to tell everybody you're gay." I was terrified. This is all of the neighbors and everything, God knows what will happen to me. Well, anti-LGBTQ, Trump, yeah. That was the beginning of my dream. Then I turned around, and there are people just crowding into my house. They're everywhere. They're picking things up and looking at them, and walking out with them, and eating my food. And I'm going, whoa, what's going on here? They said, "Well, aren't your hours from there to this?" I'm going, really? No. Out of my house. And what is that? What did that symbolize, Well, Trump taking away everything from the poor and the middle class and shoveling it to the super wealthy, who seem to be doing okay. And so here they are having a meal. So I'm getting out of my house, And I mean, this also is symbolic of little businesses, right? Little businesses that are used always in this country to hire most of the people and to get the least of the benefits, right? Yeah. So, they really can't succeed. In many cases, they can't succeed. Sometimes they do. They get lucky. They play in the lottery, Most fail. Anyway, and poor can't afford to invest in one in the first place. It takes money to make money. So anyway, you get a chance. You're not adult business. And you're sitting in your business, and a chain moves across the street selling everything cheaper than you can afford to do. They're losing money, but they don't care because they have deep pockets. Pretty soon you're gone, right? So there I am in my failing business, my house, and people are stealing everything. It's very symbolic. Your little business. Yeah, and what do they do after that little business can't compete, goes out of business? They go and buy that property And they also raise the prices. Now they can, right? No competition. Competition is it's not there. How are you having free trade without fair trade? You know, when the rich own every corner that'll even be a corner in 5 years, what's your future in a small business? Where are you going to put your restaurant? Next to the city dump? Okay. Next stage of the dream. I'm being taken for a ride. Yeah, we've been taken for a ride, haven't we, with this Trump? So this guy, he he pulls me into his truck, and the door's still partly open, and I'm trying to get out, and the door won't open, and I'm trying to, and it's speeding down the road, and I know I'm gonna get injured if I jump out, but I'm not gonna see what's going to take place later, right? And the guy's laughing at me, laughing. And I got angry. And I turned on him and I'm saying, this is actually a little guy. Trump, he's not all that powerful. He's a mess, really, isn't he? He won't tell us how healthy he is because he's not, especially up here. But anyway, so this guy, and he's a coward. I reach over and I grab his hand and I says, whatever takes place in this truck, I guarantee you're going to be more damaged than I am. I will be. And while he was stunned and moving back, I kicked that door and I jumped out. Long, long walk. I get back to my house. And in my backyard, there are rich people sitting there having food, offering me lemonade on my place, on my land. That's Gaza. Trump's plans for Gaza. Turn it into a resort or something for the wealthy. Right? There's Gaza. My backyard was Gaza. And I'm going, oh, hell. At least they're not in the house. And the little old lady was kind of nice. Yeah. When the rich people go to party there, they're not going to be bad people. They're just going to be people taking advantage. Anyway, so I go in the house. And they're still there. Now they're doubling down on eating my food. There was a piece of cake. There was a cake there, and they just almost finished the whole cake. So I was just really angry. I'm going to get out of my house. Get out of my house now. And they're getting out, and they're getting out, and they're going. And they're leaving, and they're taking stuff. They're taking stuff as they go. Just get out. Yeah, and that was my dream. That was my catastrophic dream. And then I woke up, and I'm like, what was that about? And I thought about it. And I'm going, oh, yeah. That's what that was about. So that's my dream. Trump's a nightmare on steroids. He's throwing everything except the kitchen sink out at his enemies, who are us. But he's pretending to be on our side, isn't he? Oh, of course he is. Yeah, how is he on our side? Hurting the bad guys. The bad guys? Mamas with babies? Separating them? Well, the baby cries. The kid cries. Is that American? I ask you, is that America? No, that's the old southern states selling people's mama in front of their eyes. Yeah, that's what that is. And when people come up to work and we need the labor and we don't give them a green card, that's slavery. That's all that is. And you know what? It's paying people our money is paying people to self-deport, even though we need the labor. What a not very bright man. But he's doing that, and these people are working hard. I don't care if they cross the border. They cross the border. We shouldn't be so worried about that. Just have them come through, check them out, see that they haven't committed any crimes and whatever. So, welcome. You can find a job, you're good. You can't, well, no, we know you're going to go back or move on to Canada, somewhere else. But, the business, why not give the businesses the right to give a green card, after they did a little research. Again, another check, a little research, a little history. Yeah. And if they don't, they're trying to be slave owners. They got themselves some work slaves. You look out and you see, even their kids are working in these hot fields. And I've seen it. They should be at school. But no. Give and it will be given to you. Oh, that's not Jesus. Jesus didn't say that. It's more blessed to give than receive. Jesus is not behind that idea. Really? And they had everything in common so that no one would be without. First church established in the book of Acts. Really? They were full on communists. Yeah. Jesus was a capitalist. He told the young man, go away, after, well, he went away. He didn't tell him to go away. He invited him in, right? And the guy said, what do I have to do? Well, take all of the things that you have, all of that you own, and give to the poor. Then follow me. He went away sadly. Worshipping wealthy people, treating them special. They get away with crimes. They can even be president of the United States. With crimes that would put anybody else in prison for years and years, on a lifetime. Yeah. Mm-hmm. These are the sins of a nation coming to haunt them. How will we respond? Protest peacefully in the streets. Stand up. They've done everything they could, the Republican Party, and let's call it out. Ever since FDR, to take away all of the good things that he gave to the working class. Working on getting rid of your Social Security, saying they're not. But they are. They rob the funds of it. How is it going broke when they're robbing the funds of it? You give tax breaks to the rich, in many cases. Well, you're shoveling the money to the rich as it is. You have to give them tax breaks to do it. They're making all their money off of you, small businesses and workers. They're making it off of you. That's what's paying for the infrastructure that they get to use for free. But now Trump he's gone completely mad. So even Elon the rich is going, whoa, I'm all about owning everything and turning this place into a farm, and you the farm animals, and the older out to pasture, or maybe the glue factory can come back into fashion. Right. But hey, he's crashing the whole game. Well, that's what capitalism does, actually. Yeah, they known this forever, and it has to be tweaked. It's a needed fire in the fireplace, and not in the house. I'm burning the place down. You gotta finesse that. At the core of everything is trade, but it has to be fair trade, to be free trade. And you don't get that when you're giving all of the money to very few people on the backs of you. You don't see that? Oh, well, you're too busy being worked up, being angry at gay people, but having a lifestyle you don't approve of. Freedom out the window. You don't approve of it. Yeah. Well, the Bible didn't have any problem in the past with genocide. Check it out. The place they were to inherit, right? Yeah. Leave alive nothing but breathe. It's more or less the same. You're not seeing it in context. And I've heard this but they were so evil, those people. I said, you've got an all-powerful God. They can move these people out to another place where they'll be content. And then an empty house to give you. The chosen people. And they're going, well, my religion doesn't teach a chosen. Yeah, you do. You all got your different ways of being the chosen people. And what does that mean? God just doesn't really like the others. Just us. You don't say Assalamu alaikum, and if you don't say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you're not the chosen. If you're not dunked right in the water, some Christians, you're not the chosen. Stop being chosen. Start being democratic. If there's a guy, and he's good. He's about love. He's about empathy, about caring about things. He's about fixing people the way Jesus was, right? He sat down with the people that had problems spiritually. They were criminals, addicts to booze, and whatever. He sat down, He was criticized. Why are you sitting here? These people are not the chosen people. He goes, hey, they don't need a physician. The sick do. So do we treat people that make mistakes, serious mistakes, with a punishing attitude. Is that how we treat them? How is that working? Recidivism is really a bad thing. So we should be healing people, not punishing them. Leave that, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I mean, if you believe in him, let him do that. She said, let me do that. I'll take care of that. You don't have to do that. That's a relief, isn't it? You can be all about healing. When people reject it, you don't let them out. You don't let them out. Just, that's bad, and I'm going to treat you horribly. And for this crime, it's 5 years. For this other one, it's 6. And then you're going to turn them out after that, and they're still sick, and they're going into a sick society that's very punishing and very hateful, not Jesus-like at all, and they go back to crime, maybe on purpose because they can eat. And they might get a little bit of medical care. What does that say about our country here in America, or any country, wherever you are? What does it say? We should be taking care of them. More blessed to give than to receive. Think of USAID. That stops diseases from coming here by helping the people there. By feeding children. That's what makes us great. And Trump gutted USAID. Yes, he did. They took away everything. He's turned our allies into being afraid of us. Mexico and a lot of other places, they're turning to for help. Really? We had the opportunity to be like Jesus. We didn't choose that. Jesus didn't turn around and twist people's arms and say, believe the way I want you to, or else. And when Christians came to this country, they were all divided. If you weren't dunked in the water, some thought, well, the rest are not really Christians. Yeah, they were killing each other over water baptism and whether or not you baptize a baby. Really? Over that ritual? So what kind of Christian do you want to make this country? The reason the founding fathers said we won't have a state religion is because of that. Vengeance is mine, right? Remember that. Oh, that's out of context, Oh, God. If I slapped you for no reason, would my excuse be, take it in context? Really? Man, I would be a sick man. If I was doing that, there'd be something wrong with me. That's your context. And I should be kept away from society, when you can run around slapping people, especially those weaker than you. But it's such a bad situation in this country that, it's so many ways to be evil, and so few ways to be good. I give it to you, none of us are perfect, and there's a good reason for that. Because broad is the way, as Jesus said, for evil. Narrow is the way for the good. And so it's hard. It really is hard. But that's what our country should be dedicated to. That's why the Statue of Liberty used to be a bright, shining light that we were living up to by having a lot more empathy for one another. But now, empathy's out the window. We elected a guy who makes fun of the handicapped. What a nice guy. He's going to treat you right now because he gets your kind of humor. Really? Is that your kind of humor? And you believe you're going to be meeting Jesus when you die? What's he going to say? Well, let's see. What did he say supposedly in the Bible? And don't tell me it's out of context. Excuses lame. He told, and people, seemingly neither of these camps knew who the heck he was. So do you have to believe to be okay with Jesus? Evidently not. You have to believe? No. No, not with this story, Yeah. He says to the ones that were set off to their own devices, the eternal pain of being separated from God. I don't believe that, but that's the way that they interpret that. But he just said, you're not welcome. You're not welcome to live with people who care. And they said, well, why? He says, because when you saw me hungry, you didn't give me anything to eat. And he went down a long list, including you saw me in prison and you didn't visit me. And they said, when did we see you? I said, they didn't know who Jesus was. When did we see you and not do these things for you? When you hadn't done it for the least, you haven't done it. And that least, that even involves people who've done wrong, which is all of us. And then the rest of the group, they says, blessed are you. Welcome to the kingdom. Welcome to heaven. Because you saw me hungry, you gave me to eat. You saw me unclothed, and you gave me clothes. I was in prison, and you visited me. And a few other things. And they said, when did we see you and not do these things for you? Evidently, they didn't know who Jesus was. When did we see you and we didn't do those things for you? He said, when you did it for the least, you did it for me. So, you want a real Christian nation? Follow Jesus. Don't create a chosen nation. Create a nation of love a beacon of fair trade. By the way, how are you going to have fair trade when the least two trading partners cannot organize? How does that work? Shh. All you got to do is look at the charts that Robert Reich makes so plain. Cheers to Robert. Where people that were working and producing more than ever in this country, and I'm sure it's true around the world. Tell me in the comments, about your country. But the working class is going like this, and the buying power is going down, down, down. The rich are going up. And Trump and others like him are shoveling all of the money to a few. That's honoring the wealthy, worshiping the wealthy. Gee, I want to be like that. I want to have all the money and the power. Right. What was the advice about seating people in a church meeting? In your Bible? Don't be a respecter of persons. Don't say to the rich guy, "Hey, come and sit in this good place here in the front. You can sit in the front row and listen to the choir. You can sit right there. Yeah. You look like you might be a little homeless. You just sit in the back." Wouldn't want to spoil anybody's view. No spiritual eyes involved. Don't be like that. It also mentions aren't these the people that are putting you in prison and taking you to court and giving you a hard time? Aren't these the same ones? Again. Yeah, in many cases that's true. You look, the rich don't go to jail. The rich and the powerful are innocent no matter what they do. Like Trump. That's not a land of the free. We permit that. We're not a land of the free and the home of the brave. We're the land of the slave and the home of the chicken. Let that sink in. So as I depart this presentation, I would like to remind you that you're not just in a world of wonder. You're part of it. Every day you help to create it. What will you be creating today? Be sure and subscribe. Clicks. It's going to cost you anything. Be sure and subscribe. Contribute in any way to the channel. That you can. Not asking you for any money. Share the video. Share some of your own wisdom in the comments. We're in this game together. We have to work together. And only together. Only with a vision that includes everyone. And we have a future. A good one. For one and all, global warming, so no, we don't do anything about it. which also Trump isn't going to do. Right? Isn't just his gluttony doesn't just involve turning you into farm animals. It's turning the planet into a literal farm, and then no other species, and letting it heat up to the point that even we can't live here. Yeah, going to Mars. That's that's the solution, Elon. Going to Mars. Anyway, I promised I was going to end this, so I will. Remember, you are in a world of wonder, art. You are helping to create something beautiful today. It's only a smile that you get. Thank you for a worker serving you at the checkout. Make America truly great. And back to, again, moving forward, not back. Hey, live long and prosper. This is for you. Share it. You agree.